So Nancy, Lori Vallow Daybell is representing herself. What do you think about that?
Nate Eaton, thank you for inviting me. Many people would scoff at the idea of someone representing themselves. I've heard cult mom Lori Vallow in court making some very coherent and on point arguments before the judge. Um, I believe she's going to be found guilty, whether she represents herself or whether she has the dream team, whether she brings Johnny Cochran and F. Lee Bailey back from the dead and represent her. She's going to be found guilty. The evidence is overwhelming. I'm curious as to whether her similar transaction in the murders of her child, JJ, her other child, Tylee, are coming into evidence.
Yeah, that'll be the big question because this trial, of course, is focused on Charles Vallow's death, but there were those crimes in Idaho that she's already been convicted of. A lot of people are curious, Nancy, that the jury consists of 13 men and 3 women. They think Lori's going to try to woo over the men. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yes, I understand, Nate, that the jury is packed with men and that there will be an attempt for cult mom Lori Vallow to woo them. Now, that wouldn't be the first time that that's happened. Do I have to say O.J. Simpson? He got the whole jury on his side. It's happened before. Do I think it will happen now? No, because many of these men have children, okay? And there's no way in HELL that they don't know what happened to JJ and Tylee. Also, just the nature of the evidence, the degree of planning, the way that she was able to enlist other people, and that's a really good point. Typically, men, including, her own brother, to do her bidding, it's very disturbing. Do I think they'll see through her? Yes, I do. I mean, you're really not giving the male jurors a whole lot of credit, are you, Nate Eaton? That they're going to be lured by cult mom Lori Vallow?
I
I'm
think
not.
you're right. I think that they will see through it. There, a lot of people online are saying she's able to suck these men into her orbit. And of course, now that she's pro se representing herself, are there obstacles because she is her own attorney that the prosecutor has to pay attention to versus if she had, defense counsel with her?
Oh, Nate, you're so right about that. There are a lot of landmines that the prosecutor can step on because the prosecutor has to protect the record, the appellate record, not only for the state but for the defense. How can I explain this? With every trial, when there's a conviction, everybody appeals. Everyone, it's universal. This case, when there's a conviction, which I think there will be an appeal. There will be no one to perfect the record for the defense. In other words, to guard the record, to make sure that she got protected under the Constitution. The only one to do that without an attorney representing cult mom Lori Vallow is the state's prosecutor and, of course, the judge. So the state's got to be really careful because the state's not going to encounter objections they would typically have by the defense. The state has to present their own evidence in their head, hear the objections the other side would lodge, and then cover. So on appeal, an appellate court in their wisdom won't say, oh, this was so unfair. Another thing the judge better do is to ask over and over and over on the record with cult mom Lori Vallow under oath and swearing to her right mind whether she wants to proceed representing herself. Okay? You got to cover that over and over and over. The Constitution does not require you to have a defense attorney. You have the right to have one. You have the right to have one even if you cannot afford one. The state will provide free of charge a lawyer for you, and most likely a lawyer that is experienced in that type of case, such as a murder case, right? In this case, I would be very, very tempted to bring in the similar transactions of her prior murder convictions, but you really have to you're going to have to create a record supporting the introduction of those similar transactions to the 10th degree, so there won't be an appellate problem. And also, Nate, I find this murder trial interwoven with the murders of Tylee and JJ. So, in that vein, with that reasoning, it will be more likely that similar transaction, the prior murders, will come in and will stand up on appeal. But I still can't believe you, Nate Eaton, suggesting that Cult Mom is just so sexy that the jurors are going to vote not guilty. What? Who killed Nate Eaton and is wearing his skin?
Well, I have to tell
She
you,
ain't that hot, okay?
I asked that, Nancy, too, because this is a case. Do you know that Lori Vallow Daybell's trial is being held on the 5th floor of the South Tower of the Maricopa County Court building, directly across from where Jodi Arias's trial was held? We see the courtroom every day where she was in court. You were there almost every day, weren't you? I mean, you had a seat in that courtroom. Didn't she try to turn on the sex appeal?
Yes, Nate Eaton. What is with you and female sex appeal? Okay, yes, Jodi Arias was tried right there in that courthouse. Yes, she tried to use her sex appeal, as you put it, on the jurors, just as she did on Travis Alexander and all his friends. It didn't work. She was convicted. Maybe it had something to do, Nate, with the evidence. Thought about that?
Right. Didn't she flip you off?
Okay, I don't know how Jodi Arias shooting a bird at me in the courtroom, what that has to do with Cult Mom Lori Vallow, but yes, she shot a bird at me. And I'm sure it wasn't the first, nor will it be the last time. I don't care. Don't care. She did it, and so did Cult Mom Lori Vallow. And what do you think? That she's going to wear a push-up bra and suddenly the jurors are going to go, yeah, not guilty? Doesn't work like that, Eaton.
One thing she will be wearing is a shock belt in case she tries to take off. It's a taser type of thing that will shock her. So we know she's wearing that under her clothes. She fought not to have that. Anyway, Nancy, thank you so much. Anything you want to add?
Yes, Nate Eaton. You bring up that Cult Mom Lori Vallow is wearing a shock belt so she can be tased if she tries to run. JJ and Tylee never had the opportunity to run. Tylee was rendered down like an animal in a slaughterhouse to nothing but a bucket of fat and tissue. JJ was basically hermetically sealed in the PJs he was wearing the night that Cult Mom Lori Vallow allowed him to be taken out of her home to be murdered. They were buried in a pet cemetery with animals. Now a jury has been seated in yet another murder trial in a different jurisdiction regarding Charles Vallow. Will it never end? Listen, we need this conviction. Why do we need this conviction? In the unlikely event that her other case is overturned, she needs to stay behind bars. What is this case? It's insurance. Insurance that Cult Mom Lori Vallow will never walk free to hurt another person. That's what I'm screaming.